Hi, Leo. How's it going, man?
Hey, buddy. It's so good to see you again.
It's so good to see you again, too, for episode number 28.
28.
Tech Yeah Game.
We're getting close to that 3-0. I always say that every time, but 3-0 is big.
You were okay. Yeah, you do say that all the time.
Most people instantly find success at episode 30, so we're getting there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
wow,
it's Spotify sort of as your anniversary. They give you a couple $1 million, so should be exciting.
All things considered, that's really good news.
Could be worse.
Could
be worse.
Could have come at a better time. So, Leo, let's just get right into this.
Yeah, we have a big one for you guys, so we should just
a lot has happened. A lot has happened today.
Yeah,
in the world.
Yeah, I don't know what would have happened if that hadn't. So we'll get to that though.
I know a couple things that would happen if that hadn't, but it's okay. What have you been playing lately?
So actually, I'm excited you asked me that. I was not expecting it, but I'm excited because I actually played some different games this week.
Games I hadn't played the week before?
That I hadn't, yeah. I did play a little Final Fantasy 14, but just a little. We don't have to get into that. But I also played some other stuff that I'm excited to talk about. One thing I wanted to start with is I played League of Legends.
League of Legends?
Yeah, which I'd never played before.
Like legit League of Legends or Teamfight Tactics?
No, legit League of Legends. We were playing for work, and so I've only done a few matches. I did the tutorial and then like 2 matches. It's very interesting.
Who did you use?
The lady with the 9 tails.
Oh, Ari.
Yeah.
She's a little cutie patootie.
Yeah, she's cool. The character design's interesting. It's so it's very like modern in terms of, I don't know. It just it's funny looking at it. Like, it's good art. It's well made. It's just the character design's very interesting.
Some of the art's really bad.
Is it? Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
Like the actual design, like the drawing of the characters are like some of them are like really old.
Oh, interesting.
And they're really bad, and they're right next to really modern, really good ones.
Yeah.
And it's such a strange thing to see.
Yeah, I didn't go through it all. I just kind of cycled a little bit through the menus, and it was fun. So I'm by no means in any way had any real experience with it, but we did win both games.
Wow.
No thanks to us. And there was a lot of shit talking at us, which is totally fair.
Yeah, she owned them.
To be fair, I mean, we really were trash, so I get it. But anyway, it's a weird game. I don't care for it at all. But again, I've only played a few rounds, so it's not like I understand it in all its complexity and don't care for it. I just did not enjoy playing it.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
It just seems...
There's a high ceiling to that game. It takes a lot of investment in getting...
Totally.
And, the hardest thing about those games in Dota and that style of game is you have to learn all the characters, right? Because you have to learn who's going to fight you.
How do you have time to do that? Like, wouldn't you have to grind for hours for each character just to, like, know how to counter them and play them?
Not necessarily. You really need to know, like, who's got stuns and who's got, you know what I mean? Like, who's got the crazy nukes, or at least who's going to use magic against you, who's going to use physical attacks against you. And and that's the kind of stuff that's very, like, unintuitive. Like, there's a lot of, like, third-party resources for people that you can like plug your matchups into.
Oh, interesting.
But it's a big investment as far as understanding what's happening. Why are you playing it for work? Are you guys doing an event or something?
We just do different games every week to try and, like, not everyone plays games at the office, and even those of us who do, it's just kind of forces us to all play new games, and not even new necessarily, but just different ones.
And games in the zeitgeist.
Yeah, it's cool because, like, League of Legends I never would have played, certainly because the reasons you just mentioned. And I don't know if I'll ever play it again, but it was cool. It was cool to play a few matches and kind of, at least, like, when I see people playing or hear them talking about it, I have a sense of what they're talking about. So it was cool.
Yeah, I've actually been booting into the client here and there, but I've been playing Teamfight Tactics, not actual League of Legends.
Yeah. No, that's cool. So anyway, that was a very interesting experience. Like I said, I don't know if I'll keep playing, but maybe. Maybe I'll be texting you and asking you questions. Maybe you won't hear from me for a couple months because I'll be...
climbing the ranks.
I'll be in the league.
In the rift, as we call it.
Yeah, the Summoner's Rift.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was fun, sort of. I played Wolfenstein, the new one, Wolfenstein Youngblood.
I've heard it's really great.
Really? Who did you hear that from?
Nobody.
Well, it's funny because it's I really like the first 2, or the most recent 2. They're great. They're we've talked, I think, a little bit about them. The cutscenes are awesome. The writing's great. The art direction's really extraordinary and unique, and the way they play is so cool. So I had kind of high hopes for this, the idea of his daughters, and kind of, they could do some fun stuff with that. It takes place in the 80s. The problem is it sucks. The writing sucks.
Yeah, I think
the characters are so fucking lame, and I say that with someone who had pretty high expectations. Like, BJ Blazkowicz's daughters sound fucking awesome, right? But they just made them so lame.
Yeah, I really thought that could have been cool.
It totally could have been cool.
And, like,
the
even
concept
the initial,
is cool.
the initial like trailer for it. I was like, oh yeah, it's like these cool like
hell yeah,
like bad bitches like getting down. It's very like synth wave and like this is gonna be sick.
Exactly.
And the reality of it seems very
it's lazy,
just lazy and dumb
and boring. Yeah, you could tell it's not the same writers.
Yeah,
and there's still some cool stuff in it. Like again, visually it's fun, and the combat is fun. It's very fluid. It reminds me of Apex kind of. You do a lot of sliding. The stealth's fun. I've only played a few hours, but like it's not a bad game by any means. It's not. It's a fun, cool game. It's pretty. It's interesting. It's just such a far cry.
Yeah, I mean, even a little bit I've seen is it's like, are the Americans supposed to look dumb around these French people, right? Because like the French characters don't seem to be written as stupid as the girls are. They're
written very stupid.
Oh, okay.
There's a whole sequence where like the French lady tries to get them to smoke cigarettes.
That's cool.
She's French, I guess, and French people smoke cigarettes.
It's very hip right now.
Yeah, it's really in.
They just removed Gears of War.
But that was kind of funny. Actually, I'm like, whoa, this is probably the last game you'll ever get to see a cigarette.
Probably.
For the SJWs come and take them away.
They are taking them all away.
But so anyway, I don't want people to think it's a shitty game. It's not a shitty game. It's cool. The co-op's cool, and it reminds me of kind of Borderlands. Like it's very loot based. I know there's a whole kerfuffle with microtransactions. I don't really care because it in no way impacted me, or I don't even know where I could buy stuff if I wanted to, so that's not a huge complaint. I was more just disappointed with the tone and the writing, because the writing is so strong in the other ones. It's such an interesting, and it's so hard to explain to people. They're like, isn't he just a dude who shoots Nazis? You're like, yeah.
I'll say, like, even the gameplay isn't, like, it's fun in those games, but it's not the best.
No, it's not. And this gameplay is much better.
Yeah.
They're much more mobile, and they have the power suits, so it's a lot. Like I said, it's a lot more, it reminds me of Borderlands, which is not a bad thing. It was just disappointing in that way.
Like I'll say, a lot of like with Wolfenstein, like the shock is what I found so interesting about it, like the level of gore and just the overtness of like the conflict with Nazis. Right, was such like a eye-opening, like, wow, like this is really happening.
And there's a lot of unexpected twists in terms of the character development in those games. So this is very like, they're just like, hey bro, they say stupid shit like, way to go sis, you blew his fucking head off. And it's like, oh man, they could have been so cool. But
and the combat really evolves with that one, with Wolfenstein too, where you're like doing things where you're like, oh, like this is a level that I haven't been on yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, anyway, there is one cool thing I noticed, though, which is kind of a fun little twist. So there's a little bit of that in this, where you find a Wolfenstein arcade machine, but you're in Paris, right? So it was made by the Nazis, so you play as a Nazi, and you're shooting, I guess, French people. So, but you're actually playing Wolfenstein 3D, only all the assets are swapped out with, like, all the Nazi stuff is now French flags, and instead of BJ as the character, you're, like, this blonde, blue-eyed guy.
That's funny.
And you can even look at the arcade, like, art on the sides, and it's all, like, it's really funny. It's very clever.
That is pretty funny.
And I played for a while just because I was curious how far they take it, and I mean, I don't know how much of the game's in there, but it was funny to see. They did a good job. So there's stuff like that. It's not like a half-assed game, I don't think. I feel like they just kind of leaned into the wrong tone and didn't learn the right lessons from what people liked about the first two.
For $30, it seems like a test bed that they didn't really invest quite as much as they should, or maybe or you'd hope for in it, but it is kind of what it is.
Playing co-op, I could see it being a fun 10 hours that you know. But anyway,
at least you got your Bethesda account set up now, so you're ready to log in so you can play Doom,
Quake. I play
Doom.
A little bit of Quake.
Yeah.
It's such a shitty client.
Yeah.
And I forget my password every time. That's not their fault, I guess. But for some reason, I feel like it is.
Honestly, my biggest... I mean, this is tangent, but...
That's okay.
I think...
we should just call the show Tangent.
I think Origin is the shittiest client. I have so many issues with Origin.
One thing... I don't mind Origin that much, but there's one funny thing. I bought a copy of Mass Effect 3, and 2 copies showed up in the client. And now there's nothing I can do about it. There's just 2. And they both will launch if I click on them. But no matter what I do...
That's pretty funny.
It shows the whole library, and there's 2, which is a minor inconvenience, but it's just so stupid.
Like, my CAPTCHA in that, whenever I try to do, like, a password reset CAPTCHA, it just goes nuts for some reason.
No, I've had that, too.
I have to do, like, 12 CAPTCHAs. Like, it's like, pick the bus, and you pick the bus, and it's like, pick the bus, and you pick the bus, and it's like, I can't keep picking the bus.
If I have to pick the bus again, I'm fucking...
Yeah, I'm just not doing this. And then, it's really weird in Apex, like I'll be playing it, and if a friend or anybody logs in, the pop-up will alt-tab you out of the game.
That's great.
Like it stays maximized.
They really want you to prioritize talking to your buddy.
Yeah, like it stays maximized, but it
it like makes it windowed.
No, yeah, kind of, right? It's still there and it's not technically windowed, but you're not like in the game anymore.
Yeah,
right. So your mouse stops responding. And people say it's because the origin, like the actual origin box, isn't up behind it, so it's trying to pop the box up, and that's what's taking you in and out. But it's like, so you can't run this in the tray? Like,
how do other people do it?
Like, what is this? Like, what is the fuck is going on? But yeah, Bethesda seems pretty bad too.
Yeah, I think it's kind of half-assed, and it's funny looking at it because it's very like it just looks like it's super ghetto.
Yeah,
it works fine. Like whatever, they all work fine. But it did make me laugh every time I log in. I'm like, ooh, maybe I should just stick with Steam on this one.
Yeah, I would say if you really like, it seems like a game you can play if you really want to see, but
yeah,
it seems like it's pretty passable.
Yeah, it is. I think that's fair to say. If you haven't played the new Colossus, though, that I highly recommend.
Yeah,
or even just watch a walkthrough on YouTube of like the cutscenes, because like you said, the combat's fun and it's cool. It's a cool looking game, but it's not, the shooting's not the strongest by any means.
Yeah,
but the cutscenes are so good.
And there are parts of the game that just feel very unfair in the combat design.
Yeah, agreed.
But what else have you been playing?
So those are the main ones. I did, however, finally pick up Fire Emblem. So I think you did too, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So maybe we could talk about it at the same time.
I'll get any game where you're a teacher trying to fuck your students. I mean,
well, yeah. Well, we'll get into it.
If there's one defining factor in games this guy likes, it's.
Are you talking about you or me?
This guy, me.
Okay,
I'm this guy.
You got to just make that clear. This is a very audio medium.
I'm not going to push that evil on you. No. Yeah, so I guess I'll get into my game since we're going to...
Yeah, I was about to say, maybe we just finished up with Fire Emblem and we can really hash it out. But what have you been playing?
So before I get into that, I have been playing a lot of Teamfight Tactics. I mentioned it earlier when you said you played that game is bad in a lot of ways, but it's fun. I was talking to a friend about it, actually, and I said... I don't know if it's high praise to say this is a great game to play while you're watching YouTube. You know, like it's kind of one of those things where you can sort of passively play it.
Do you play it on your phone?
No, it's on PC only.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of the other one.
Yeah, the Dota Underlords.
Right. Which it's essentially the same concept, right?
Concept, yeah. I just had a lot of like issues with it, just in the way that they present it. Like there's items where they affect all adjacent units, and adjacent to me means everyone surrounding that unit. But adjacent to them is actually like a row. It's like 2 units out from you, so it's basically the units next to you and the units adjacent to those units.
Yeah,
which seems
adjacent to me it would be like almost like an AOE.
Yeah, like a circle around you, like one space around you.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, that seems really weird, and it's like I wasn't. It's kind of losing because I wasn't using the items correctly based on some arbitrary way that the item works. And so things like that I find happen a lot. And the randomness is just kind of crazy, right? Like it's very item based. You got to like collect and craft items. And a lot of times you just won't get items, right? Like for large portions of the game. And you're just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to like. You know what I mean? Like I can't counter this. There's no like.
Yeah, there's not a strategy issue.
Yeah, there's no strat or investment that can like get you items. Like eventually, there's rounds where you like draft a champion that comes with an item, which is fine. But if you get one piece of an item and someone else has 6 things and they're making sets of everything, you're just like, well, this isn't like I'm not in a position to compete. So that's kind of lame, but it's fine. It's fun in its way. I wouldn't take it very seriously. Like I think I saw a lot of people that were really into it and like really trying to like rank up because they added a ranked system, and I started doing that and was just like, this is like, it's frustratingly not good.
Yeah, there's too much luck. It sounds like as well.
And not even just luck, just like, I mean, it is luck, but it's really, to me, luck is like, oh, you might get this hit, and really, it's just like. Just weird RNG on top of weird RNG that kind of decides a lot of it. And there's a skill to it.
Yeah, of course. And maybe some people like that.
Yeah, I think some people do. And I think it makes it fun to watch. Like if you're a streamer.
Oh, interesting, yeah.
It's fun to watch people both like, they're good, but they got fucked. You know what I mean? It's you watch someone that's really good at the game, but they're like just getting screwed and getting frustrated.
Yeah.
Like, this is fun to watch.
Yeah.
So I can see where there's fun to that, but as someone that's just playing, it was a bit.
I wonder how much going forward is just a random thought of like game design. Obviously, people keep streamers in mind, but I wonder if soon we'll start seeing games that are really only designed to be watched.
I mean, I think that's already kind of. I think that's.
I just never thought about that. Where it's like I would never play this, but it's great to stream, which is kind of a weird thing to think about.
I mean, I think a lot of Fortnite is that. I mean, people do like to play it, but I think the popularity of it has been the fact that it evolves so often.
Yeah, it's always different.
That you kind of have to watch it to stay up on it, right? Like even when I liked playing Fortnite, it's like the patches were so fast that like you kind of would have to watch streams at work, right? Or you'd come home, you wouldn't have enough time to invest in learning what was actually different when you wanted to play.
Unless you had like summer off.
Unless you were a child, right? And you could just be playing all the time instead of watching streamers. But if you have obligations at some point, you're like, okay, I gotta like.
No, that's an interesting point.
I gotta see I gotta have someone explain to me what's happening on any given day, right?
Yeah.
Like, which is a big part of it, you know. What else have I been playing? Oh, there's a new Gundam mobile game.
Yeah, that's funny. I almost sent you that link, and I was like, and I was like, he knows about this shit.
Yeah.
This is like so far up his alley. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, so I've been playing that. It's pretty fun. Yeah, it's a pretty good game.
I mean, it sounds fun.
It's a gacha game, like every other game.
That means it's free, though.
Yeah, and it's free. And
so you build models and then battle them? Is that correct?
Yeah, and you battle them. And the battling's decent. Like, you know, the thing I don't like about a lot of gacha games is there always seem to be kind of auto battlers, right?
Yeah.
Where you're just like, make your team, and then just the best way to play is just put it on fast and let it auto fight. You know what I mean? And this you could probably do that in too, but there's kind of like, you know, you get your skills at the bottom and you can zip around and double tap to like boost and like,
that sounds
you
fun.
know, it's pretty fun. And, you know, for me, like, because I like Gundam, like, my goal isn't to be strong. It's to make a kit I like and upgrade it. So, and usually with these gacha games, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm like trying to roll the best units. In this one, I'm literally just hunting for garbage gear that looks like what I want my guy to look like.
That sounds fun.
Like I want to build a gym sniper, right? Which is like a basic grunt like unit, and paint it. That's all I want in the whole game. So I keep getting all these like RX-78 Barbados like purples and stuff, and I'm just like trash. You know, like give me the white plain, dumb like army green, you know, guy. Like that's who I want. So it's fun approaching it that way because it's just not how I ever approach those kinds of games.
Yeah, and that's because it's like, it's so specifically tailored to your interests that it's almost like you're enjoying it on a totally different level than they even intended, probably.
And it's a collectible game about collectibles.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, you know, if you're into like a collectible, like it's not always, there's rarity in things that aren't like high end.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So part of it is like, oh, but this is like the one I like, even though it's not the high end one. It's just a niche thing. So you can kind of build around that, which is fun.
That is fun. That's awesome.
Another thing I did, and all right, I need you to promise me something. That includes you listeners need to promise me something.
Okay. Oh boy.
I need to promise you're not going to call the cops.
Oh, is this something we got to be cool about?
Are you cool?
Are you asking us to just, hey, are you cool?
Are you asking me if I do cocaine? Because when someone says, are you cool, I think they're asking me, you like to party?
So is that what you're asking me?
No, I'm saying, are you cool?
I'm cool.
Are you going to not call the cops?
I mean, if the cops want to find you, they'll probably be able to, but it won't be because of me.
All you the millions of people listening, please don't call the cops.
Yeah.
Because I got to tell you guys, I hacked my Switch.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, don't call the cops. I now got a Bowsette screensaver.
I'm calling the cops right now.
You don't
and just so they can congratulate you.
You don't like Bowsette?
Of course I do.
You got a problem with Bowsette?
Nobody has a problem with Bowsette.
Bowsette's dope. Okay.
Although I did like the ghost one better.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway. So anyway, how did it go? Was it a pain?
A little bit.
Yeah, it always is at first.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about modding things.
Yeah.
Is like it seems so impossible when you start. You know, you're like, none of this makes sense. You guys are talking about CFWs and root backups and you know, like the bin. I got to run a bin, and I know what a bin is, but what's the bin I'm supposed to run? And you know, I'm not running the right version mismatch. Like, come on, nothing's working. None of this stuff is working.
This is impossible.
Yeah, this is impossible. And then I just kind of did it, and you know, once you hours in,
it feels pretty good once you pull it off.
A few hours in, you're kind of like, okay,
I've never done it, of course.
This sort of makes sense. And what's crazy is that like because I have I bought the Switch when it came out, like I can hack like every version now. Like you can literally run this if you have the latest update a Nintendo Switch,
Oh,
right?
wow.
Like you don't have to like roll back or anything.
So it's like a firmware update, or it's like a hardware level exploit.
Yeah, so it'll run on the. It's recently,
cool.
but it recently got updated to the latest firmware, right? So
Yeah,
you don't even have to worry. Like you can run everything.
it's not going to brick it.
I mean, I'm sure you could.
Yeah,
I mean, of course, when you
but
first
I mean, it's
start,
not going to brick it with an update. Hopefully,
no, they can't. I mean, on these old ones, they can't
because it's hardware.
because it's hardware.
Okay, so that is fucking cool.
Yeah.
Did you look it up first to see like what version you had and all that, or did you?
Yeah, you can punch in your cereal. There's a thing
Yeah.
where it's like punch in your cereal, but I was pretty sure because I bought mine really early
Yeah.
that it was one of the ones. If for anything, if you're gonna have shitty busted Joy-Cons and Wi-Fi that doesn't work, at least they give you one that you can hack. I'll be honest. The reason part of my desire to hack it was like my frustrations with Nintendo Online, and my just the hardware being so bad. Like you see the Joy-Con drifting. I always have Joy-Con problems.
Yeah.
You see like, my shit's been busted like twice and I'm just like, why am I so like I've hacked everything else. Why am I so adamant to not hack this thing?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think it's for me because it's just because it is still new.
Yeah. And even when I like initially did it, I was like so worried, like I'm gonna get banned, like oh it's gonna be so bad.
Banned from what?
And I'm like, yeah, like banned from what? So they don't like
From
if
Mario
they
Kart 8.
and
I
if
guess?
they ban you, right? Like yeah, they ban that account from playing online, but you still own all your games.
That's why I buy cartridges.
But I mean, you can still download your,
No, I know.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's true. They're not going to like wipe your games that you bought.
yeah, you just can't play online, right?
Yeah. Which do you play online a lot?
Never.
Exactly. I think maybe I try it one time.
And so what if I can't, like
No,
I still got
yeah.
all the games. I just download them.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, I can download every game ever.
I was reading about how, well, I'd like to hear what you downloaded, but before I forget, I was reading about how they finally got Android really running on there.
Yeah,
like, super
I haven't tried it
smoothly.
yet,
I'm going to
but-
try that because that sounds cool.
Yeah, it is cool. So what I have been playing, I'm
He's got his Switch right here.
I'm going to boot it up right now.
Now I'm an accomplice. Great.
Yeah, you've touched it.
If the FBI comes in, I was framed. Listeners, please.
So some of these I haven't played yet because I downloaded a bunch of games.
Wow.
It's like Dragon Quest Builders 2 I have not gotten into yet.
Oh, yeah.
There's a reason. Because the last game I say is the game I've been playing. Time Spinners I played a bunch of.
I've heard that sounded cool.
It's a cool Metroidvania. I put a few hours into it. It's pretty fun. I don't love it, but it's neat and the writing seems really good. Bloodstained I downloaded to try.
Oh, how is it?
It's kind of shitty. I mean, it's fine, but you immediately especially because I played it on PC, you immediately notice the frame rate.
Yeah, that sucks.
Like just
I
being
played a lot of that game, so that would be very frustrating.
like it plays so good on PC.
Yeah.
Like and so having like the locked frame rate,
Especially when you're running and like once you get the super boosting and you're
Yeah.
like literally just grinding and running back and forth between screens, that would suck.
the
at
thing I
30.
noticed the most was like like the move where you jump a land slash.
Mm-hmm.
That's the timing on it never really felt right to me at this frame rate.
That's funny.
You know what I mean?
That sucks.
I downloaded Pokemon, which I haven't played yet.
Which Pokemon?
Let's Go Eevee.
Oh, yeah. I played that at E3. I waited for like 3 hours because, anyway.
So the game I played that I really like, the recommendation I'll make right now of like the indie darling I've played that seems really cool. It's a game called VA11HA11A, like Valhalla.
Oh.
I don't know if you pronounce it Valhalla.
Probably.
I don't even know. But it's a game about making cocktails in a cyberpunk world. You work at a bar,
Ooh.
right? And so you're basically like, it's kind of visual novel-esque, right? Like people come in and you talk to them and, they kind of give you all this flavor text about the world and the politics of the world. But the gameplay of it is basically you rotate the left stick around and that's where all the ingredients are. So it's like a selection wheel.
Yeah.
And you tap A to add 1 unit of that selection, right? So it'll be like 2 units of this, 3 units of this, 4 units of this.
So you're just
And you
cycling.
can make a double by doubling everything you add. You can do on the rocks by hitting Y. You can age it by hitting X. And then you can shake it by hitting the trigger. And if you hold trigger long enough, it'll blend, right? And so you basically, as patrons come in, they tell you their story. You make them a good drink. And if it's right, they kind of continue their stories.
That sounds
right?
cool.
And they'll come in all grumpy and this fucking place is a shithole, and you're just like, hey, chill out, man. You're like, what do you have? And you make them a good drink, and then you chat, and then they're cool, and they start kind of sharing
their world and provide you opportunities and stuff. Right?
That sounds awesome.
And it's just very kitschy and interesting, and it's the writing. You know, it's all the writing, and the music's really good. You can like set the jukebox every day. So you can just add like 12 tracks to just play while you're playing. And so it's neat. It's neat in that sense. And it's all like synthwave, which I'm just so into synthwave right now.
Well, you should buy it then.
Yeah, I probably will. I mean, I'll say this game and the other game I've been playing a lot, which is Fire Emblem, I will be buying.
Oh, you know, yeah, that's the other one I've been playing.
Because this game is dope.
It is dope. How far have you gotten? I haven't gotten very far. I think I'm only like 3 hours in.
Yeah, I'm probably about the same as you.
Did you get past the mock battle?
Yeah, I finished the mock battle.
Yeah, so we're probably
that's kind of actually about. I think I did one more mission after the mock battle.
Yeah,
where
I think so. We're about at the same place.
Yeah, I mean, because it's a long game. It's slow. Like it is not fast.
It is slow. It's
and it's fun to explore though. That's why it's slow. Like that's why I think
that's
so
what
fun.
I'm really enjoying about
it. Yeah,
because I remember when I never, for the record, I've never played Fire Emblem really.
Yeah.
Like I know about it. And actually would love to talk to you a little bit about your experience with these tactics-based games, because it's one of those things where I always wanted to like them, but I never could get into it. Like Final Fantasy Tactics, I love the idea of it.
How dare you?
And I love the way it looks, and I want to like it so bad, but I just can't get into that style of RPG. I don't know why.
How dare you say this to me?
No, I like it. It's a good game. It's a great example of a game that's clearly awesome. It just doesn't connect with me.
It might be the best Final Fantasy game.
It's not the best Final Fantasy.
It might be the best Final Fantasy game.
No. Well, maybe, but it's not even...
just based on systems. Well, Final Fantasy 14 might be the best Final Fantasy game, actually.
Probably.
I think the systems... You know what I think is really interesting about that, actually? Is the job system of Final Fantasy 14 seems like it's based on Final Fantasy Tactics, right? And I think that's the strength of Tactics is that job system.
Oh, for sure. No, I want to make it clear. I'm not saying it's not good.
I feel like you're talking shit right now.
No, I have like 2 copies. I bought it on the PSP. I think I bought the Android port, and I have the original PS1 disc. So I like it. I just can't get into it.
You know what's crazy? I've probably told this before, but like, when I was 15, I got a job at the mall at Wetzel's Pretzels.
I did
right? Selling pretzels. And I was really good at it, too. I was a pretzel master. But I can remember it was summertime.
Where were you?
El Cajon, Parkway Plaza Mall.
Okay.
We called it Parkway Mall because it wasn't a plaza. That was our thing we always said when I was in high school.
It's really clever.
We'd go to the mall and be like, this ain't no plaza.
Sound like you were a really fun guy to be around.
We were so cool.
If only I had known you then.
Yeah, we were so cool. But I remember getting my paycheck and going into Electronics Boutique.
EB Games.
Mm-hmm. And was looking around, and I knew Final Fantasy games. And I saw Final Fantasy Tactics and had kind of a what the fuck is this moment, right? Yeah. I was just like, this doesn't look like well, you can't tell from the box but even the box
is cool. It has like chocobos running through water.
It's so different.
No, for sure.
Than the other Final Fantasy boxes, right? You're like, what is this? This doesn't look like a Final Fantasy box. It's not numbered.
Yeah.
It's got the small it just looks so different.
Yeah, and then even if you look at the back, you're like, what?
Yeah, and you look at the back and you're like, what is this?
It's like isometric.
Yeah, and you know, I'd gotten played before. I bought Mystic Quest. You know what I mean? Like which I actually liked at the time as a kid. But playing it later was like, oh, you guys got me. You know? And I just randomly just bought it. Like I just didn't, it was probably half my paycheck at the time.
Yeah.
And just was like, I love Square. I'm buying this, and just bought it and just loved it from that moment on. Like, it was like an instant, like one of my favorite games of all time.
No, that's awesome.
And
yeah, well, all that to say, the reason I bring it up is because I was a little hesitant about Fire Emblem. Because those of you who don't know, it's essentially the same thing. It's basically like tactics-based isometric strategy, which is cool for a lot of people. It's great. It's all about like item management and troop management. So, I'd always heard it spoken of highly. I just never played it. But then when I was reading the reviews, they were talking about this element, this social element, and how when you're not fighting in these tactics-based battles, you're exploring this giant sort of Hogwarts-esque school where you're a professor and you're teaching all your students, and you can like have relationships with them. Not even like romantic. I think you can. I'll find out.
Oh, yeah, you can.
But it's much bigger than that. It's like you train them, and then I guess eventually, I don't think this is a spoiler, you have to like go into battle, and then if your troops die, they die. So all these people you spent time with and grown attached to.
It's permadeath, which is cool.
Yeah, which I guess in this one you can turn off.
You can usually turn. Yeah, the last ones you'd be able to.
That's cool too. I think it's nice to give them the option. But anyway, the reason, and then a lot of people were making the Persona comparison, not because they're the same type of game. They're not really, but just that I was like, hell yeah.
Well, they like. It seems like they're pretty
obviously copying that portion.
Yeah.
Like the calendar pops up and it's like day off. What do you want to do?
Yeah. So see,
like,
I'd never played in the other one, so I actually have no sense.
That's not.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all new. There wasn't even open world in the other ones.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, it's not open world.
No,
there
it's
wasn't
just a
that
big
like
thing you can explore.
there wasn't exploration in the other ones. You basically were like battle.
Yeah, so that's what I really like. Like I'm enjoying the battles. I from what I could tell, you can actually do auto battle.
Yeah, you
which
can.
I've read a lot of reviews for it, and they were saying almost all the systems are optional.
Yeah.
So if you hate all exploration, you can skip everything you don't like, including battles. Which I'm going to do the battles for a while, but I think it's cool that if I'm like, I don't care about the battles, I'll just have it auto battle and get back to the exploring and like the hanging out.
There's part of me that wants to put it on casual, easy, and just put it on
And
auto
just
battle
have
and
fun,
just like
right?
check it out.
Yeah.
You know? Just kind of explore it, just be this person in this world.
And one thing you have to do is choose one of the 3 houses, hence the name. So from what I understand, there's pretty significant replay value if you choose. It's totally different, not totally different gameplay systems, but like what happens is completely different, and that's a lot of game.
Who'd you choose?
Who did you choose? Like to me, it seems so fucking obvious.
I can't remember what they're. Is it the Black Eagles?
Yeah,
Edelgard.
Blackhawks.
Blackhawks.
Yeah, duh.
The bad bitch,
so cool,
right?
yeah.
She's so cool. Like how would you?
Yeah, and she looked cool, and honestly, all the people were just cooler. Like and the fact they're all like magic users, I was like, well, yeah, that's why I would have been surprised if you hadn't chosen them.
That's why. Once they said it was like the magic house, I was like, oh yeah, that's my house.
Well, yeah, and that shot where it shows everyone, and they were all like playing with magic. I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I thought that was pretty obvious. Though I could see all 3 of them being super fun.
Yeah, it's weird. I've read some things kind of talking about how those are supposed to be like versions of like governing styles, right? Because there's like
interesting.
There's like the democratic, like the yellow, whatever, the handsome guy, and then there's like the monarch, which is like the Edelgard, and then like the elected ruler, which is like the
blue dude,
Aryan dude,
the Dimitri.
Yeah,
I think his name's Dimitri.
Yeah, whatever his name is.
All I know is I kicked his ass in the mock battle.
Yeah, all I know is Edelgard's the only one that matters.
Yeah,
she's bae.
She's
magic
cool.
users win. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. But I do really enjoy the exploring, and I really like the way it looks, too.
Yeah.
And I love the animations, like the actual anime segments are gorgeous.
There's some textures that are rough. I love the anime sections a ton.
I thought they were beautiful. Yeah. I was really enjoying
One thing about this Gundam mobile game, too, it's got dope anime video sections.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, I think so, too. I've seen some rough parts in the textures, and I haven't really run into them as much myself.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, it is a Switch game. That said, like I think the art direction's excellent.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like, did you choose a male or a female? I should ask. Yeah, same here. Her fucking tights are so cool.
Yeah,
her outfit is sick. Like when she runs around with like the arms of her robe, like she doesn't have on. Like she just looks awesome.
Yeah, she's cool. She's just super cool.
Yeah,
like everything about it. Just being like this like young, just super badass. Like everyone just kind of respects the fact that she just kicks ass.
Yeah.
And she's a professor.
And I guess she's magical and has some weird thing going on. We'll find out.
Some secret magic power. Everything about that game is great. I'm excited to play it more. I wish I've had more time this week to play it more. Actually, that's why I have my Switch with me. I've been trying to find time to squeeze in more playing, but it's been such a busy week.
Yeah. So same here, actually.
Hopefully over the weekend I'll get to.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see how, as I play more, sort of what I gravitate to. Because I do want to feel this sense of freedom, like if I stop enjoying something, I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah.
And it does feel like such a huge, dense game that I feel like there's plenty there to love. So I think if we can take it slow, but if you feel like you want to speed it up, I think it will. So yeah, we should keep talking about it over the next few weeks, months, see how far we get.
Okay, so I had a couple, let's get into the news. I need like a news stinger.
Yeah, you say it every episode. Let's just make one.
Okay, there it is. That was the news stinger.
News.
That's the news stinger. That's the new.
How about
news.
that? I'll just say, it's time for news.
Is that the news stinger? Okay, news stinger. There's a couple. So there's one big story we're gonna talk about in just a minute, but there's a couple smaller things I want to get into before, and one of them is actually. I was kind of debated if I wanted to even talk about this because it was kind of like Twitter drama. And I don't know how you're going to feel about this. Do you know who Colin Moriarty is?
Colin Moriarty, yeah, he's a writer, right?
And he used to be at the IGN.
Yeah.
He was the PlayStation guy.
Yeah.
He found it kind of funny with Greg Miller.
Okay, yeah.
I had that falling out with him about a dumb joke. I don't think he's not my favorite personality politically. I think he's fun to listen to talking about PlayStation stuff. But this just kind of popped up because I do follow him on Twitter. I follow a lot of people on Twitter. But he had a PAX panel scheduled, right? He was supposed to be at PAX. He's been advertising it for actually weeks now. And he does a show with a guy named Chris Reagan. He's a YouTube personality. Actually, well, we won't get into that. But so panel was scheduled. He'd been advertising on a show. He got people signed up. They booked all their stuff for it. And then yesterday, PAX just sent them an email saying your panel is canceled. There's screenshots of all the emails. Didn't give a reason. Didn't really say anything other than, sorry, your panel's canceled. If you want passes, we'll give you passes, basically was what the email said.
Thanks.
Yeah. He reached out to them. They did not respond. It's kind of been a really long-running Twitter thing. I know a lot of people don't like him. They kind of view him as misogynistic and kind of basically an anti the narrative, right? The current kind of political narrative around games and games media. I don't think he's that inflammatory. I think he says some dumb stuff, but I mean, he's no like Steven Crowder, right? He's not running around calling people fags or, you know what I mean? And if anything, like, you know, it's so weird we live in this era where like being like, you know, pro-gay marriage and pro-choice and, you know, and all these things, it's still somehow seen as like fascist, you know what I mean? But I think it's all just very buzzworthy, right? But, you know, the kind of the implication of what happened is there's a few people that really kind of target his brand, right? And they had been advertising since they said he was having a panel that, you know, PAX shouldn't be having misogynists or fascists, you know, at PAX, and that they were going to milkshake him at PAX, which I think is the dumbest thing I've ever.
What does that mean?
So you've never heard of milkshaking?
No.
So it's like a political tool now, I guess you'd call it, where they consider it nonviolent to throw milkshakes at people as like a form of political protest, right?
I see.
That somehow is like justified, right? Like, we don't like your ideas, so we all get milkshakes and throw them at you. And that's like...
Do you think this came up with like by the milkshake lobby? They're like, finally, we're relevant again. This is
probably
fucking great. We haven't sold this many milkshakes every E3, man.
Fucking Burger King has not been able to give milkshakes out. And
that's funny. I'd never heard of that. It seems really stupid.
I think it started in England.
Well,
yeah, but
it's people across the pond.
Yeah, but it's been happening. Like, it's a big Antifa thing to like throw milkshakes at people.
That's funny. No, I'd never heard of it.
Yeah, it's so... I mean, it's so crummy. I mean, it's what's really sad is this kind of stuff that like... Not just calm or anything, but like milkshaking is one of the things that's going to get somebody killed. Yeah. Right? Like, someone's going to milkshake someone's going to punch somebody, someone's going to shoot somebody.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, and they're going to be like, I can't believe this happened. And it's like, I can completely see how this happened.
Don't throw stuff at people.
Yeah. And like, let's just not be these people, right? I don't really have a hot take to say on it. I think it's fucked up. I think PAX is fucked up.
I think it's very odd that they wouldn't at least tell them why. That's the part I don't, because I don't think if they don't like someone being there, then fuck them. They don't have to make them be there. But it is very odd to A, do it so suddenly, and B, to not tell them seems very strange.
To invite them in the first place.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's true.
You know, I think that I don't think that he's owed a platform. Yeah. I don't think I think even canceling it's fine.
Yeah.
Right. I think allowing it in the first place and then kind of going back on it and doing it in such a quiet way. Today he'd been writing them emails saying, you know, like, well, what are we going to do? He asked if people that bought tickets from his show could get refunds. They said no, they will not refund any tap passes. He asked if he could get any of his travel expenses paid. They said no. You know, and you know, it kind of creates this issue. Like, is he going to sue them now? You know what I mean? Like, it's very adversarial. It seems very childish and cheap.
And again, just the lack of communication seems very odd.
Yeah, it's very unprofessional. It's very cheap.
Yeah.
It seems like it's being done in a malicious way to like score points, and I just think that's fucked up. Yeah. And that's the only reason I wanted to bring it up is because I know we don't have a ton of listeners, but I just think it's fucked up. I don't think anyone should be treated that way.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is. And I think honestly, the thing to me that sucks about it is I just think it's really interesting to have people at events or in spaces that can tell a perspective and be interesting in a way that maybe doesn't align with your core values.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think that's, to me, some of the most valuable input you'll receive is stuff that you probably wouldn't want to hear. Yeah. You know? and
or at least being able to listen to it.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, this is a whole other debate where it's like, then if someone is doing straight hate speech or is like being a horrible monster, like you said, there are lines, but yeah, it is interesting how it's.
I mean, I would say at some level, even monsters
can learn from them, but I don't want to go to like
but
their conference at PAX.
Yeah, selling passes to that. That's what I mean. Like, I get that they're selling passes.
There's a space for debate company. Here, but even so, it is odd that they would be so opaque about it. That seems like the real crime here.
That does. It seems like the real shitty thing.
Because if they just been like, look, man, sorry, here's the reason we did it. Here's the business reasons we did it.
Yeah,
it would still be shitty, but at least it'd be sort of coming from a place of respect, I guess.
Yeah, you could have said, hey, it's politically motivated, or or they used the.
Yeah, honestly, like if I was like, sorry, dude, nobody wants you here anymore, so we canceled your panel. Like at least be like, okay.
Well, that's what's so weird about like offering him passes.
Yeah.
Right. No one wants you here, but here's some passes if you want to.
You're probably gonna get milkshakes.
Yeah, if you want to show up anyway, you know what I mean. Like that's what's so strange to me is it all kind of reeks of this sort of like
it's odd.
We got him kind of moment.
That's why it'd be nice to know their side, but but the fact they don't say anything's
which
odd.
Also makes it feel like it's a we got him moment.
Yeah.
And then and of course. Politically, everyone celebrates on Twitter that they got him, and that's what sucks is it's like, everyone kind of complains and it's like, oh, you can't have fascists here, and then they're like, yeah, you can't do your show, and they're like, see, we won, we stopped them, and it's like, I guess, man, congratulations, it's just this whole political climate, and I'm not saying this is everybody on fucking Twitter right now. This whole climate of like clapping back and just celebrating everyone's failures it's so gross. It's just so lame. It's just such a lame way to live your life. And let's all just try and like encourage each other. How about that? That's my takeaway.
No, I agree with that. And if there's a circle you don't want to be a part of or you're opposed to, that's totally fine. But just don't be a fucking dick about it. And that goes for all sides.
Yeah, that goes for everybody. Yeah, I mean, it's not even like about sides. It's just for everybody. Like, let's all
sides of everything all the time. Just chill, man.
Yeah, I mean, even like, I grew up religious, right?
Yeah.
Like Christian forever, right? And, there's a lot of shitty people in religion, right? But there's also a lot of like really beautiful people. And I think the thing you learn, or the thing I learned through that and the takeaway I kind of take away is like if we're ever going to teach anybody about this, especially like religion, you're going to do it through love, right? Like you're not going to do it through finger pointing and shitty Westboro Baptist signs. You know what I mean? Like you're going to show people a light that's inside of you, and that's how you're going to kind of spread a powerful message.
Yeah.
And all this like vitriol and hate that goes around does nothing but like embolden people against you.
Yeah, it's not going to help your side.
No, it just creates more animosity. It's so gross. I don't want to like dwell on that too much. I just wanted to bring it up.
No, it is interesting.
Another hot take going around, and this one I'll probably really get in trouble for, is Leo, did you ever tip girls to watch them breastfeed?
No, I never have.
Really? Because now you can.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I still don't think I will, but
fire up those bits. It's time for breastfeeding streams. Okay.
On Twitch.
Twitch just. And I should have pulled up the actual story. I'm just gonna shoot from the hip because there's another story I want to talk about. But a streamer got. I wouldn't say banned, but they suspended their stream because they were breastfeeding on stream, right? Twitch reviewed it, yada yada yada. She kind of pushed back, and now breastfeeding is A-okay.
Now, when you
Twitch.
say that, do you mean like to what degree? I mean, I think that can mean several different things, right?
Well, I mean, I think that's
like
the problem.
There's a big difference between like taking your shirt off in front of the camera and breastfeeding versus like, having a blanket or being obscured. Or I mean, there's a lot of different ways people breastfeed in public, and some would be more controversial than others, right?
I mean, I think the example, the stream I saw, that was the stream in question, she had it was basically open with the baby on the boob.
So is it this same old conversation about like you can't show a nipple? Is that really what it basically has come down to?
Well, that's what's weird. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I don't know. Like, is that because Twitch has these? I mean, once again, I think this is kind of the issue with Twitch is right. These rules are so arbitrary; they're so not clearly defined.
Yeah.
Right. Like even for this, like, are you going to draw like a line about like what constitutes like allowable breastfeeding? You know what I mean?
I mean, I guess they have to.
Is there an age limit to who can you breastfeed a 7-year-old?
No, yeah, you're right. These are questions that will probably be pushed very soon.
You know what I mean? Like, and slippery slope. I understand that that's kind of a shitty way to approach these types of things because, I think breastfeeding is fine. Breastfeed wherever you want. I think that the idea that there is going to be ad roll and tips collected while you breastfeed is strange.
Well, I think
you know what I mean.
I think it's strange in that it's that's fine, but the other things aren't.
Yeah,
I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with being like, if you want to pay someone to watch them breastfeed, that's fine, and everyone's okay with it. Everyone's fine, but it is like we've talked about. It's Twitch yet again, kind of being weirdly arbitrarily enforcing things.
Yeah, I mean, you can't see someone's feet,
and also, exactly.
Like, you can't.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can show someone's breastfeeding, but you can't see their feet. That seems odd. And then there is that side of it too, where it's like, it would very not be PC to tell mothers they can't breastfeed on a stream. I wonder how much of it is purely motivated by, or not. Who knows? But I guess it's part of the question is if it was something that wasn't so heartily condoned by,
I would say you just shouldn't be feeding other people on stream.
Well, can you eat on a stream?
Yeah, you can do like a mukbang.
So why is
I'm saying feeding someone else is strange.
But it's just because something's strange doesn't mean it shouldn't be on Twitch.
But I mean, that's kind of the thing, though, right? Like anything that can be. I mean, I feel like they've created an environment where anything that can be misconstrued or have kind of sexuality pushed onto it is kind of a no-go. You know what I mean? Because of the nature of it.
That is a high bar, though.
It is a high bar.
Yeah.
But you got to understand, it's a high bar. And, it's funny. We had a separate conversation about Twitch privately last week at lunch, right? Kind of talking about the fact that there kind of needs, at least my opinion was, there needs to be these high bars because you're allowing people to basically broadcast to the world, right? And you're collecting revenue for these broadcasts. You're profiting off these broadcasts. And you can't pretend like you're not culpable for the things that happen on these broadcasts, right?
Yeah.
So
you either are or you're not.
You are or
can't
you're
be
not,
both,
right? And so we can say what we want, but if you want a Twitch stream and it's 7-year-old girls swimming, right? That's safe and mundane. It also has no business being broad. You know what I mean? And you can say that fuck the perverts, but it's like that we have to. You have to create boundaries, even if you don't feel like that they're fair or represent or they punish positive morality, right? Who's being no one's being punished.
Or the other side of that is, or you could just not have any standards, but then that's a totally different conversation, and it would be a very different. It would be a totally different thing,
and the platform would be different, right? It would be a different platform,
and it probably wouldn't be as successful.
No, of course.
Maybe it would be financially. It would just be very different.
Yeah, it would be very different.
And I'm sure Amazon would. Well, anyway, that's the point, though. It's kind of like either you need to carefully police content or don't police it whatsoever. You kind of can't just randomly police it when it's convenient. I guess you can, but it's kind of frustrating and annoying.
And just setting these guidelines arbitrarily kind of based on social pushback, I feel like, is kind of the bar. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, are these people really going to complain? It seems like that's more of the what creates the ruling more than any kind of actual
consistency
belief
or actual
or trying to protect people or trying to create a positive viewer experience, right? Because you understand, if you have women just breastfeeding on stream, it's going to create a mess, you know what I mean, for the streamers themselves, for and some people I think will thrive in that chaos that ensues, but why create content that is so rife with conflict, you know what I mean, that is instantly going to create these conflict points and instantly kind of be problematic, right? And not because the activity itself is problematic, obviously, right? But because the perception is problematic, right? The viewers are going to have problems with it, right? And they're going to lash out and create problems. And yeah, it's fine. It's a free country. Feed your baby at the park if you want. That's fine. But this isn't the park.
Yeah, this is Twitch. This is Amazon-owned Twitch.
Yeah, there's ad roll running on this. All right, there's, it's a strange arbitrary line once again drawn by Twitch.
It is weird.
And
If only there was like some alternative service to Twitch, but I guess there isn't, right?
Let me read you an email I got today.
Oh.
If I can pull it up here. Got to get to my emails. That was my email. Stinger.
Ooh, that was better than mine.
All right, where did I put this email? I don't see it now.
Very professional.
Thank you. The title of this email is, I don't get streaming.
That's fair. I've felt the same way for a long time.
Greetings, Tony and Leo.
Oh, greetings.
I know that you two are the go-to savants of all things gaming and gaming related.
Oh.
So you might have already heard of Ninja's decision to jump ship from Twitch to Mixer.
I did hear about that.
We did hear. To be honest, I never understood the hype behind Ninja, let alone the draw of watching people stream. I admit, I've watched snippets of people playing a game I'm interested in, but aside from that, I could never imagine myself taking a Saturday afternoon to watch someone else play a game that I could go play. How do streamers garner such a large following? Is there something wrong with me? Do I hate people? Am I too old? Is streaming just something that you either love or hate? Will Goku ever defeat Frieza? Muchos arigato.
Oh.
Asimo 5000.
Oh, thanks, Asimo. We really appreciate your email. Well, first I'd like to answer that with my own experience, because in a lot of ways, for a long time, it was very much in line with that. I only recently started really enjoying streams, and I personally got into it through speedrunning, which I love. But to me, that's sort of like you're watching someone for their skill, as opposed to their personality. But then slowly over time, like I found speedrunners that I enjoyed their streams more than others, not just because of their skill, but because they were either not as obnoxious or they were funny. And so then it's not necessarily like, at least for me, I wasn't attracted to streamers' personalities first, but as I started watching more and more content in this sort of specialized world, I just started preferring certain people over others. And then it got to the point where I'd subscribe just because I wanted alerts. And then before I knew it, I'd be chilling, at home after work, and I'd see, so-and-so's starting a Resident Evil 4 stream, and I'd be like, oh, cool. And then before you knew it, I was watching streams. I still don't watch it as much as some people, but I can totally see how if it's content you want to watch that you're interested in, you want to watch it from someone you like, or you think it's funny or hot or whatever your reason is. Mine is that like there's a lot of speedrunners. A lot of them are super weird and awkward. Some of them are fun. Some of them I don't like. So I gravitate towards the ones I do. And I think if your game's Fortnite or whatever your game is, it's kind of the same thing. That said, I've never understood the appeal of Ninja either. I don't dislike him, although he said some stupid shit in the past, but I think anyone that famous gets nailed for something. I personally don't care, but I don't think I'm the target demographic for Ninja. And Fortnite's not my game. Apparently he's very good at it, so that's obviously a huge draw. He is, legitimately one of the best, right? So that's my 2 cents. For a long time, I felt the same way. Like, why would you just watch someone play a game? To me, the fun of watching it is if they're super duper insanely good at it, or if they have some educational perspective on it. For other people, I think it's just watching the best people or the funniest people.
Yeah.
What do you think? Because you watch more streams than I do.
Not lately, but yeah, I've kind of been.
Yeah, you're more plugged in than I am.
Streaming a lot, and actually streamed quite a bit for a while.
Yeah.
And I will say Ninja's probably not the best at Fortnite anymore.
Well, I mean, but he's good.
He's good.
People liked him not just because of his personality.
He actually, for this Fortnite Invitational just happened, where a young boy won $3 million. He didn't even qualify for the finals, but.
Well, he's busy.
Yeah, he's a very busy guy. But, I think for me, I think a lot of what you said is very much the truth, right? You find things, especially things you're passionate about, and it's nice to be able to pursue those passions vicariously through people that either have more time, more money, more discipline, or just all around better than you at these things, right? So you can kind of learn to be better, right? You only learn... it's just like when someone was good at the arcade and you'd watch them play Street Fighter, right?
It's exactly the same.
Like you only learn to be better by seeing people that have kind of reached a mastery that you haven't reached yet. It's hard to be that person that kind of discovers this top tier on their own. Like that, the investment for that is so high, where the investment for learning that through other people is much more achievable.
Yeah, like a great example is for Resident Evil 2, which is I watch a lot of those speedruns, the new one. That's how I learned how to run it, was by watching speedrunners, and then I kept watching them as they got better and better to me because it's their job. But yeah, it's so much easier to watch someone. You're like, oh, these strategies are so interesting, and instead of having to learn them yourself. Yeah. Also, I think a big draw that maybe people in our age group don't consider as much is that not everyone can afford to play every game.
Especially like single player games.
And so a brand new $60 game that came out just today and something you're excited about, but you don't have any money, but you do have access to the internet, you can watch someone you really like or respect play it and like have interesting commentary on it. I could totally see how that'd be fun.
And I think the thing to remember, and I think to kind of finish up on Andy's question, at least about people liking streamers, is the thing I learned streaming is that really it's a hang, right?
Yeah.
Like the people that are there, the people that are streaming, you really need to approach it like we're just having a hang.
And they're like eating dinner probably or like, you know, doing something. They're
chilling. It might
chilling.
be one other person. It might be 0 other people. It might be 1,000 other people. Regardless, just having a hang, doing a thing we like. A lot of times, like, I'll be watching Gundam builds while I'm doing Gundam builds, or I'll be playing the game I'm watching.
Yep.
And we're just kind of all doing this thing, right? And chatting about it.
Space.
Yeah, in this shared space. You enjoy their personality. You want them to keep being able to do it, so you try and help finance their ability to do it, right? And I think that's a very positive, very interesting, cool thing to be able to.
Well, and you also stumble on something else, which is it's not just games by any means.
No,
I think
not
that's
at all.
still kind of the core of it, just because it lends itself, and that's kind of where it started. But yeah, no, I mean, there's people streaming everything from like story reading to sewing to anything you're interested in. Someone's streaming it.
Yeah. So let's get into the real meat of this, though. Our boy Ninja.
Not our boy, but
our
boy
favorite
Tyler
streamer.
Blevins.
Our favorite streamer. Famous for dropping N-bombs and playing with Drake.
He dropped an N-bomb?
I think a long time ago,
I thought that was PewDiePie.
No, a long time ago, I think Ninja did. Like back in the... Like he used to cuss and everything, but now he does like these family-friendly streams.
Yeah.
I will say this. Like, I haven't watched a ton of Ninja, but he really did like... He was very open about it and very, very clear decisions to be like, I'm going to be a more positive person. I'm going to be a very kind of all-age friendly person. You know, he's like... Because he'd say, like, people, like parents would write me and say, like, I want to watch your streams, but my kids are around, and I don't want them hearing F-bombs and stuff. And he's just like... You know, like, he respects that. Like, I give him a lot of credit for kind of taking steps to be a better individual himself and to present a better product, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to say, is the fact that it helps give him shiller money probably factored into it, but there's nothing wrong with that.
And, you know, like, whatever your reasons are. Like, you know, it's like when people do charity so they can post it on Instagram, it's like, I'm glad you're doing charity.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and get all the likes you want. Farm likes. If the way you get likes is by helping people that need help, then get all the fucking likes in the world. Everyone liked Mother Teresa, motherfuckers. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
She would have had so many followers on Instagram.
She would have been huge on the gram. So let's just chill out and allow people to profit off their
for sure.
positivity, right?
Is he also? Was he the one who said he wouldn't stream with women because his like girlfriend gets mad or some shit? Remember?
No, it was. I seemed to. I remember there was a story like that. I feel like my take when that came out was felt very overblown.
Yeah. I'm just trying to remember anything about Ninja because my experience with him is very, very limited.
Yeah, I think it was more like he didn't want to stream with women because not because of his, but because of like perception, like from audiences and stuff. I mean, I think to me, like it ties into just like the breastfeeding thing and stuff, right? Like it's not about doing the right thing; it's about doing the thing that these millions of people perceiving it, like how that's going to be perceived and how we like. Yeah, it might suck, and especially if you're a woman and you want to stream with a big streamer and have a following from that. I'm sorry you're not afforded that opportunity, but this is a business endeavor, right? And I'm trying to create a product that is drama-free, you know? And if that doesn't, that's what I'm saying, just like the breastfeeding thing, right? Fine, you're allowed to do it. You're not creating a product that is going to be palatable and enjoyable for people. You're creating a product that is going to be full of conflict. And
isn't that true for like, I mean, where do you draw the line with that? Like, what about movies, right? Couldn't you say that about movies? Like, man, no one wants to see this rated R movie. Why did you put so much blood in it?
That happens a lot. I mean, rated R movies make less than PG-13 movies.
Yeah. Well, I guess my question is,
that
like,
is true.
Doesn't it depend on the person's goal? Like, if their goal is, I want as many people to watch it as they do, but maybe that's not their goal. Maybe their goal is like, I want to fucking breastfeed on Twitch.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Twitch's goal is to make that money, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Like, you know.
From a purely pragmatic perspective, I totally hear you.
Miramax ain't going to pay you to make a comfort project of you breastfeeding your baby and
unless they think it's going to make money
and put it out in theaters, right? Like Twitch's job isn't to accommodate the masses, right? Their job is to make money. And I think to bring it back, I think they really failed today, right? I think losing Ninja to Mixer, and we talked about this before, I think is a I mean, it's not the nail in the coffin,
but it's a huge fucking deal.
It is a huge fucking deal.
Yeah.
It's a huge deal for Mixer. It's a huge setback for Twitch. I think Jeff Bezos is going to hear about this and be like, "This isn't what our business does."
Yeah, he's like, "This is the one thing you should not have done."
Yeah. Well, I mean, Amazon has built their business around taking legitimacy away from other retailers, creating a market where they are the only legitimate choice, right? And never faltering from that vision, right? That has been their entire MO. And Twitch has been very much in line with that, right? Don't allow any other platform to seem legitimate at all. It's a place for Xbox kiddies, or you know what I mean?
Like the people who can't afford to be on Twitch or whatever.
Yeah, like it's always just been
for sure
a sub product, right? And they've never been able to poach like a big streamer. I've seen a couple people switch to Mixer, but usually they're very small.
Yeah. Don't even remember their names. So what does that say?
And just having this hit the media like this.
Well, yeah, and like we talked about with Dr. Disrespect being banned, and we had that whole conversation about like they're not going to ban him.
Yeah.
Which to me begs the question: do we actually know why he left? Did he? I mean, the easy answer is like they offered him a shitload of money.
Yeah, it had to be a lot of money.
But do you think it's that simple?
No, because I don't think they could offer him. Like, I'm sure there was a counter offer.
Well, that's what I'm wondering.
You know?
And it's not like those are two of the biggest companies on the earth. That's Microsoft. Obviously, if you guys don't know, Microsoft owns Mixer, Amazon owns Twitch. So these are two of the biggest companies on the planet.
Yeah.
So I don't think money's an object on either side, which is why I keep being surprised that this hasn't happened before. But the fact they got Ninja, who he's not the biggest streamer anymore, but he's one of the household names, top 5, right? I'm curious what the deal was that pulled this off.
I don't know. I have no insight information.
Yeah, and there's really
nothing's been released yet.
Yeah.
But I would say that just from the outside looking in, Ninja had to want to go.
But why would he want to go, I wonder?
I mean, I think a lot of people are not happy with kind of a lot of things we've talked about with Twitch, right? Their arbitrary rule sets, the way they feature different people. I mean, also his popularity has been not on the decline, but he's not the biggest streamer on Twitch anymore.
No, from what I understand, he's still immensely successful, but it's a hugely he's far from his height of popularity, which was like 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah, something like that. But I mean, he's still gigantic.
No, for sure. But that might have been a factor. Is the point?
It might have been a factor, but also I think, I think a lot of people don't like dealing with Twitch, right? And I'll say this even. Through people I know and some personal interactions with Twitch, they seem very childish.
Yeah.
I feel like all Amazon products are generally behind the scenes very poorly run, right? It's not magic, right? Like I think a lot of people from the outside look at Amazon products and they're like, because the front end is so pretty and so simple feeling, right? It has like this very polished, very like, it just works feeling. Everything gets here in a day. And then you look at a warehouse and you're like, oh, this is like it's not magic robots making sure everything makes it in time.
Fucking crazy. Yeah.
It's fucking people stressed the fuck out that want to kill themselves.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's the reality of how the sausage is made. And I think that it's very chaotic behind the scenes and very hard to get what you want or to like, I'm sure they've been dogging on him, right? Like, because of how his performance.
And I wonder too if the fact that they are the only name in streaming, or they were, does kind of afford them, or some perceived, at least on their level, some level of, fuck you, what are you going to go to Mixer?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, actually.
That's what I mean.
Maybe Mixer will be nice to me.
I think he called their bluff.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. I mean, and again, we don't know any of this. Nothing's been released yet, but that's what I like to think. I like to think they were like, shit, man. I don't know. They made some weird veiled threat because he's losing popularity. And he's like, okay.
Yeah.
You know how many people call me from? Are there any other ones besides Mixer?
I mean, there's been a couple. I think there's one called like Caffeine. And I know a few have popped up.
Yeah.
YouTube, of course. YouTube.
Yeah,
gaming.
that's true. I have heard that Mixer has some interesting technology too that Twitch doesn't have. Like there is some, and we'll probably hear more and more about this, which is exactly what Mixer wants and exactly why this is a smart move. But I've heard, it's not just a cheap knockoff. It is genuinely different and it makes some things easier. Some of that might have been attractive as well.
I know Twitch rolled out a version of their FTL streaming. So Mixer had basically 1 second delay on their stream. So it's almost live what you saw.
Yeah.
Twitch has 7 to 14 seconds. It's it's a high bandwidth, like hard thing to pull off all the time. I know Twitch has rolled out a similar function, but
there's other stuff too, like you can share your controller easier.
Yeah,
there's a few things here and there, and there's probably disadvantages. But the point is that might have also been a factor. It's not like from what I understand, it's not just like a shitty, cheap knockoff. It is like it has some variation in how it operates that could potentially be attractive.
I will say this: the crowd on Mixer is rough. Because it's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people on their Xboxes, just like...
Yeah, because they just couldn't figure out how to install Twitch.
Well, and it's getting served, like when you boot your Xbox, it basically serves you Mixer, right there, right? So a lot of people are... it's hitting a lot of people, like just when they log in.
Yeah. But this could change that. I mean, who knows? Like if Ninja does well, this could be a huge deal.
Yeah.
For streaming.
It could be the hugest deal. I'm interested to see kind of what happens with all this. I mean, I think it's very exciting regardless. Like, whatever kind of comes out of this, I think it's an exciting time. I think it is fun to see these kinds of technology giants fight and see what emerges out of it.
And it's fun that they fight so behind the scenes and try and present a facade of normalcy. It's so funny, if you just watch Ninja's video, it seems like just such a nice thing. Like he just decided today to be like, I think I'm going to try Mixer instead. Everything's going to be the same. I'm just going to try Mixer. Whereas the reality of it is, we can't even imagine the level of chaos and how many people got fired over this. And it's kind of interesting to think about the friendly facade that Amazon and Microsoft are presenting. I'll
tell you one thing. This has taken over over Twitter today.
I'm sure.
It's just been like the biggest thing on Twitter all day.
Yeah, of course. It makes sense.
Yeah, it's exciting. Like I'm just really interested how this goes. I basically want to go stream on Mixer. I think a lot of people are like, I want to go stream on Mixer.
I bet those numbers are crazy right now.
Yeah.
I bet, this is very exciting for whoever is running Mixer right now is probably just like, my job is made.
Well, sort of. I bet someone just spent $20 million.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Who knows what it costs. That's not a number. That's not a real number. I made that number up. But, if you decide to check for $20 million and you're like, yeah, I got some traffic now, but I need like more traffic. I need a lot more traffic, and I need it for a long fucking time.
Yeah, that's why I wonder how much it was.
Like it always feels good to get that first day bump. Like whenever you ad spend.
Yeah,
but it's those ROI calculations got long legs, man.
That is so true.
It's
that's a really good analogy. When you're like looking at the spikes, you're like, shit, I'm getting hits. It's working. Yeah. Then the next day you get fewer. Then the next day you're like, oh, damn it, I'm over.
It's not even the next day. Like before, whoever like signed this off, right? Like he's been checking the numbers all day, right? And he's gonna like 11:30. He's like, all right, it's time to go to bed. He's gonna like hit refresh on that report, and he's gonna be like, oh fuck, we're at like 26,000 viewers right now. All right, if we do that for 300 more days, fuck, I'm not gonna make the money.
Yeah.
Fuck. You know what I mean?
I'm fucked.
Fuck. I'm so fucked right now. Because that's what I do. You know what I mean? Like you just see that last number and you start doing the math in your head. You're like, this is never gonna add up. This is never gonna make it. Like I am so fucking fucked right now. So it's but that's what's so exciting about it, right? Is it's just this opportunity for things to just totally change or not change and blow up in people's faces.
Yeah.
Like if this doesn't work, this could be the end of Mixer
and Ninja.
For sure, Ninja. They already took his check mark away.
I did see that.
Yeah, which is crazy.
I don't blame them.
I don't blame them, but
also we don't know how long this has been, going on behind the scenes.
Well, it's funny because you ever listen to the H3 podcast, Ethan Klein? They were talking about because they had issues with Twitch. They used to stream their show live on Twitch, and they left Twitch, and the same thing. They took away their blue check mark. This the day they left, and then Twitch owed them money still, and Twitch couldn't pay them because they weren't partners anymore, or they weren't an affiliate or partner anymore. Because you don't have payment attached to your account unless you're an affiliate, right? And so they're like, oh, well, can you make another account so we can send your payment?
Fuck you.
And they're just like, fuck off. Like, keep the fucking money, right? So it's like, I hope they thought about it. I feel like people get so mad they just turn it off and don't think about the logistics of it, right?
Yeah.
But
maybe we should stream next week's show on Mixer.
Maybe we should. That'd be pretty fun.
I'm down.
All right, maybe we'll try it. It'll be a Tech Yeah Mixer show.
Sorry, Ninja, you can't come on our show. We're very exclusive. I know you want to, but you know what?
Maybe we'll do a short spot if he wants to jump in.
We should actually. That'd be really funny. It'd be like an annual thing. Like, all right, he may show up today.
Yeah, well, it's like, hey,
maybe one day he will.
Maybe he'll show up next week.
Yeah.
I'll put in some calls.
We can't make any promises, but I'm just saying you probably want to tune in because Ninja may or may not be on our Mixer stream. That may or may not exist.
I've talked to some people in Mixer. Okay.
Okay.
So we'll see. No, we're not going to give.
Well, not next week, but maybe the week after.
Maybe the week after. All in all, super exciting.
It is interesting.
Fun to see what happens.
And as always, we'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on it. Also, we need to talk about the video that's coming up that we're about to make.
I was just about to.
I know, but I wanted to do it.
So, teaser. We watched Max Payne this week. I watched it last night.
I wish you could have seen his expression because it sums it up. So yeah, for those of you who don't know, we're doing this YouTube series where we just watch a video game movie and talk about it, and it's been a lot of fun. And this one is a doozy, so I'm looking forward to talking about that. You want to check it out?
Normally, I'd say maybe watch the movie before you can kind of listen to us talk about it. Don't watch this fucking movie.
Yeah,
I rented it on Amazon.
Watch our video.
I was mad that I did.
Yeah,
like at least Assassin's Creed.
It's $4. I did the same thing.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed. I wasn't mad I rented. I was just like, yeah, whatever.
I might rent again.
Oh shit.
But anyway,
but watch it. Moms that breastfeed, I love you guys. Don't think that I think that there's anything wrong with breastfeeding.
No, I think that's an important point. That's obviously the truth. It's just it's more just Twitch being interesting, and that's kind of why this Ninja thing ties into it too. Because maybe they can't afford to be quite so cavalier about what this and that, and just being so arbitrary about what they enforce and what they don't. Who knows?
I love all this Twitch shit. It's like pro wrestling.
It's fun. No, totally.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
It's just so fun to be on all the sides of it and explore it. Mm-hmm. But moms, if you want to breastfeed, more power to you. That's all
of course.
Say,
yeah,
right?
I hope that goes without saying, but we should say it anyway.
We should say it anyway.
And you know what? People want to show your fucking feet or whatever you're doing. It's all good. We're not trying to throw value judgments. It's more just Twitch's sort of weird, arbitrary. Yeah,
and if you want to pull your titties out, pull your titties out.
Yeah, sure.
Send them to me if no one wants to see it.
Send them to you.
Yeah, techcarepodcast@gmail.com.
Oh boy,
send us some input.
Wow,
but if you do send that, send the question for the show too, please.
Yeah, come on. We're trying to be practical here.
We're very professional.
But seriously, we'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. I know it's a complicated topic, so
yeah. You can get all of our info at techcarepodcast.com, and make sure to check out our videos. The Doom one actually I thought came out really good.
Oh, I did. I actually agree.
I did some high quality editing on that one.
It's a high quality movie.
A lot of Carl Urban shots in there.
Woo!
Also,
my boy.
Actually, before we go, have you watched The Boys?
No, not yet. Is it good?
Your boy Carl Urban.
I did see that.
Like
that's
the star of it.
That's the only reason I want to watch it.
Well, it's okay.
It's okay. Is it better than Max Payne?
It's definitely better than Max Payne.
Okay.
All right. I love you guys. Check out the YouTube channel and go play some games.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys.